Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Dr. Alessandro. Please like and subscribe. And in this video, I'm going to be discussing associate or worker contracts. Now, this is meant for young dentists entering private practice, but it also applies to, you could say, any field. It's not just dentistry. All places have employment agreements. So one thing that I would recommend for you all, anybody who's going into an agreement, but of course, especially dentists in this case, is that you have an attorney review your employment contract. So, preferably a business attorney or a labor attorney or somebody who specializes in contracts. Any lawyer will do, but those are the folks that may know a lot about the intricacies and ins and outs of different contracts. So they know kind of what to look for. So why do this? Well, there can be stipulations inside a contract that relate to pay that can be very important, especially if there's a termination involved. There are also things called restrictive covenants in private practice, and they may exist also in other industries. And that, if you are terminated for whatever reason, or something happens and the employment agreement dissolves, you may not be able to work in that same zone for a certain amount of time. So you need to be very familiar with those terms, because if you then violate them, you can be brought to court and there can be a trial and there can be problems. So you want to avoid those kind of problems. That's an important thing to know. So those are very important things. And I'll even tell you about an example that happened with me. I had a cousin, let's call him Cousin Tom. When I was first exiting the military and entering into private practice, I had Cousin Tom review my very first employment contract. And, Cousin Tom looked at it for about a day, and then, saw him the next day, and Cousin Tom handed it back to me and smiled and said, "It's a shitty contract, but you need a job." So that was true. Fortunately, the contract that was not well written, as it were, ended up helping me in the end when things didn't go so well. But it was something that I needed. So I needed a job, and I had a contract for a job, and I worked within it, and I respected its bounds. So that said, please, by all means, get yourself an attorney to review your employment contract before you begin to work. Don't go without one. And if you feel comfortable enough to do it yourself, I guess, do it at your own risk. But you really want somebody to be on your side and help you understand things, because you don't want to enter an employment agreement blind and then really get into deep trouble after if something doesn't quite work out well. So, all right. Hey, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you're all staying well and healthy.